Hello, Internet! This is Rusty, and I am doing a Let's Play Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past. For those of you who don't know me, which is probably damn near everyone watching this was basically like the defining game of my childhood. This was my favorite Super Nintendo game. It blew my mind. You can argue about whether it stood the test of time, but for me, this is like the be-all and end-all of like adventure slash RPG slash console gaming. The last console of which I have positive memories is the SNES. So this game, a very big part of it. I'm kind of blowing through the dialogue here. If you've never played this, if this is for some reason your first time looking at this, I pity you. And, just if you can't read that fast, just pause it and you'll get the hang of it. So the spastic elf running around is our hero Link, which, I mean, at this point, if you even watch this, you should probably know who that is. And he's getting a lantern right now. And it's pointless, but for the record, there are some hearts in the pots, because that makes sense. So you get a telepathic communication from the princess. Oh my god, come rescue me. Apparently your uncle does too, because he runs off. And you're faced with the overworld map. Now, what's great about this game, and something I'm going to come back to as I do this Let's Play, is when I first played this, and I think people who were my age at the time, I was probably 9, 10, 11 at the time, 4th or 5th grade, whatever that is, the idea of having a sort of open overworld like this was fairly new. The first Zelda game had an open overworld, but if you look at the attention to detail, we got another message. Psychic telepathy from the princess. That's okay. Yes, very good. This was sort of a new thing. The idea that you didn't know where to go, and you could just wander around, you could talk to people, not out of the castle. Oh, I'll just go home. No, that's fine. Probably the first time I played this, I probably wandered around for like 20 minutes before I was like, hey look, a path. I wonder where to go. And unlike many games of today, it didn't directly feed you what you're supposed to do. I mean, it seems obvious now, but back in the day, I didn't know until I just stumbled upon that. So, in the castle basement, yeah, there's the uncle with the bad blue hair? I've got pink hair, whatever. Yeah, give me the sword and shield. The dinky dagger sword. Whoosh, I can do that. So, very wimpy sword. Little green bottles give you some magic. And, cash money. It doesn't matter now, but one thing I can do with the lantern is light these. It's not quite as impressive in a room that's already lit, but in a room that's pitch black darkness, that's quite helpful. So, we've gone in the back door, again with the things that were new at the time, at least to me. Cut down the grass, cut down the bushes. I mean, nowadays it's, NBD, that's nothing, but at the time, the idea that you could interact with the background, like the grass, the bushes stop me from moving, so fine. But the long grass is a background thing, yet you can interact with it. That was huge when I was 10. Anyway, I'm going to kind of speed rush through this. I'm more or less playing from memory, so I'm sure there's someone who's going to watch this and go, you could have gone a different way and it would have been faster, and I don't really care. It's been a decade at least since I played this. Another thing from the olden days, so we're in the castle for the King of Hyrule, and it's a bunch of hallways with moronic guards. Oh, that sucked. Moronic guards just wandering around. This guy's got the world's worst weapon. It's the only thing worse than my dinky little poker. No chairs, tables, lounges, couches, anything. It's just a dungeon. Realism, to hell with that. And I promise that if I fail and die, I will still post this on YouTube, and you can all make fun of me for being shit at games. And because of that, I'm going to mostly avoid people. If you've never done this before, Green Knights take 2 whacks of the Dinky Sword. Blue Knights take 3 whacks of the Dinky Sword. That's the official name. If you look at the manual. If you have the manual back from, like, I don't know, 92, wherever this came out, 91, look it up. It's called the Dinky Sword, as opposed to the Master Sword. I'm not lying. Jousting. So, the game dumps you into a dungeon pretty quickly. And this is a puzzle, quote unquote, you will see like a million times in this game. How do I get out? You have to kill everyone. And of course you're rewarded to that gorgeous sound known by any Zelda player. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do. And the quintessential boomerang is ours. Which I will need because I'm terrible at fighting with the Dinky Sword. Here's a pointless room. Get a little cardio. And another pointless room. I don't know why they did this. I surmise that the Japanese developers in their, like, quasi-puritanical Japanese ways felt the need to make the entire dungeon symmetrical. But I don't actually know why they did that. This dude up here, as I recall, yeah, he barely gets stunned by the boomerang. So we use the pot. Throwing a pot, ironically, is more powerful than our sword, and that, if you've never played, is the big key, master key. In most dungeons, hi Zelda, in most dungeons there is some kind of item or weapon that you need to progress, as well as a door before the final boss, and the chest with the item and the door before the final boss will be locked with a big key lock. So a common theme in dungeons is not just exploring the dungeon, but you have to find the big key before you can progress. There may be exceptions to this rule. I mean, obviously I can get through here without the boomerang, but in many dungeons you can't progress through the dungeon, or you can't progress through the game if you don't get the item or weapon from the dungeon first. So we're going to take the high road here. Zelda will obediently follow me because she's traditional. I don't know. Whatever. And, you know, go the pacifist route here. Oh, okay, or fail. You know, okay, I wasn't going to kill him, but he like, stole a heart and dropped nothing. Fantastic. One thing I will say, comparing my memories of playing Nintendo, Atari for that matter, SNES as a child, and playing now is in certain ways, I was a patient kid. I mean, if it came to like a platforming issue or a difficult boss fight, I would do it like 50 times. If it came to a puzzle you had to think through, I would give up pretty quickly and get really frustrated. I'm the opposite now. If there's a really difficult boss fight, I can do it like 3 times, and I'm like, this is ridiculous, this is bullshit. You can't beat this. Whereas with like intellectual puzzles, I will sit there for an hour and like have a graph and write them out. One thing I want to point out real quick before we go on is if you see these blue curtains on the side, they're in the background and they become important later in the game, but something that blew my mind as a kid was boosh right there. Oh my god, you can interact with the background just like the long grass. You know, to like this day and age's gamer, it seems like nothing. But the idea that like the background on the wall was something you could interact with was like mind-blowing to me as a child. So here's another example of that is, look, that shelf is in the background. Oh my god, we can move it. Wow. I mean, so minor, so simple today, and at the time it was like mind-blowing. So we're in the Underdark. And I will now demonstrate the usefulness of the lantern. Besides having that little cone of light, it allows us to light those braziers so we can see what we're doing. And we'll get hit by snakes. NBD. It's cool. Just a little damage. Notice that now that we're in the basement, you can't hear the rain sound effect. How cool is that? Come on now. Again, super minor details that we take for granted today that when I was like 9, I was, blown away by. And at the height of security systems, we've left the key to the door in an unlocked chest. Yeah, don't question it. Yes, thank you, Zelda. Gonna get our feet wet. Wow, whiffed that one. Okay. Lighting that was pointless, I realize, but I did it anyway. And there's another super common puzzle in this game is, how do I get the key? Just kill everything. If I finish this Let's Play, which I'll at least do all of the light zones, I'll get the first 3 pendants, we will come back to these, and I'll have a key that will open them. And that is a key, correct. Notice, again, super minor details that make a big difference. Hear that sound? Oh, it's a different sound. Again, things we just didn't get back in the the NES days, let alone the Atari days. That just didn't exist. That was not something you expected or ever saw. The idea that different sections or parts of a level would make different sounds when you hit them. Let alone nothing made sounds when you hit it. And by the way, I know which lever to pull. But ever since I was a kid, I always pulled this lever because I loved to see the snakes drop and the noise because I'm a masochist, whatever. Oh god, snakes. Oh god, I'm gonna die. It's an embarrassment. No success. So, Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past, first dungeon complete. They just toss you in there almost straight away. Very easy. Just sort of introduces you to the game again. I'm zooming through the dialogue if you're not a speed reader. Pause. You can read yourself. Not at all. No, we understand. And in here is a heart. If you've never played this, you can collect hearts and pieces of hearts. They give you more life, basically. You can live longer, take more punishment. And yes, I have left the all-important Princess Zelda in the care of an elderly preacher. Seems fine to me. Anyway, that'll do it for part 1. I will go ahead and probably record at least the next 3 dungeons, because I remember them. Doing the Dark World, if you want to watch me fail, I guess I'll do it, but I don't really recall all of it from my childhood, and it'll probably be pretty bad. So we'll see if this gets any responses. If you like it, hit me with a comment, tell me how bad I suck, whatever. Good attention, positive attention, negative attention, I'll take whatever. But I'll at least do a couple more dungeons and kind of people who, for whatever reason, didn't get the joy of playing this when it was cutting edge. I'm going to try to bring it back for you. We're bringing it back. We're taking it back. So, yeah, that's it for part 1, and I'll see you next time.